Oh.
Hello.
Hello, MTV.
Okay. So yeah, this is our next discussion about a video game called Far Lone Sales, released May 17th, 2018, developed by Okomotive, published by Mixed Vision. Cost is $15 or your regional equivalent, or if it's on sale or something. Platforms, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, Mac OS. The description is, I actually remembered to do the description this time. Traverse a dried-out seabed littered with the remains of a decaying civilization. Keep your unique vessel going, overcome numerous obstacles, and withstand the hazardous weather conditions. How far can you make it? ? What will you find? ? Okay.
Wait, before we can go any further, it said how far can you make it? Can you actually not make it to the end?
Oh yeah.
Just quit.
Like the hail part, I guess. I mean, you can die actually.
Yeah,
Well, I guess
like
I
3 or
did
4
die
times.
at a few times.
I was like, what happens if I just let it stay on fire?
Does it eventually just blow your vehicle up?
Yeah. Or if you stand in the fire, you get hurt and die.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't know that. I never let that happen.
Or
I think I
maybe
actually
it was just
did.
timing weird, but
Let's describe what this game is actually about. And
Should we give our initial thoughts first?
sure, we can do that.
I'll go. I'm Nick, as you all know, because I do it every fucking time. I have mixed feelings about this game. I think it has a lot of potential and was definitely not worth the price that I paid for it.
What was the price?
$15. And it's like a 2-hour game. Not even.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Mitch. I liked the game. I put like 4 hours into it total. I took my time through it. I really like the art, but I definitely can agree with Nick in that like it had its moments, or it felt like there could be more to it. Like it definitely felt like there was stuff missing that I was kind of expecting to be there in some format. But otherwise, it was pretty good. And I enjoyed my experience.
okay, I'll go next. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I think this was so. You know, is it the same developer as Limbo and
No.
no?
No,
'Cause
it wasn't.
it has a similar vibe though.
Yeah.
definitely does, yeah.
Limbo and I can't think of the name of the other one.
Inside.
Inside. I like this one far more than those two personally.
What?
I-
Inside's way
I-
better than this game.
I was generally just I endured Inside. The last like 13 minutes, 14 minutes of Inside really turned it around for me and went from I think I might hate this game to okay, it's pretty good. But like it wasn't fun for most of it for me at all. It was like it redeemed itself at the end, and at least for my initial impressions, I very much liked it. I don't know, something about it. I just liked. Oh well, I was treating it like, oh man, I'm gonna have to use the materials really carefully. So I ended the game with like 20 or 30 barrels of oil.
I did the exact same thing.
Filled the ship.
I had a lot.
Hoarded them all.
Yeah, I was like,
Couldn't even reach my bedroom.
I only burned crates for the longest time. Because I was like picking up every single unique item, and I was like super excited. And then yeah, there's some parts that were there were some very stupid parts, in my opinion, as well, that made me rage quit. So
I'll go next. I'm Zach. I also do pretty much every one of these. I'm not sure if I'll do the one next week because I'm going somewhere and I'm playing D&D in that place. Almost didn't make it to this one because I had a flight. But I really enjoyed this game. My response to the others who say it's not worth $15 is a dab on the haters.
oh,
I think it was worth $15. I really enjoyed this game. It did also only take me about 2 hours, but it was a really charming game, and I really enjoyed it. I do have a couple of things to say, like about the ending and kind of about the game as a whole, but in general, I thought it was a fun game.
Dab on the haters. You learned that from the kids too?
I did, yes. Oh no, it's going to be nothing but stale memes this whole time.
that's painful and embarrassing.
Hey, I have no dignity left after the last 5 weeks.
So yeah, it sounds like you and I are the ones that really enjoyed it.
Oh, I really enjoyed it.
I like
wanna
it.
come off
Oh,
that-
I know.
Wait,
I know it's not
I've got
done.
to introduce myself.
Okay.
I'm Carly. I come here once in a while, and I played about 15 minutes of this game, and and I watched Mitch finish it. I like the art style.
Did you like the game?
She liked the 15 minutes she played.
No, I was kind of indifferent from the 15 minutes. It didn't make me want to play anymore.
Okay.
I actually wasn't a huge fan of it in the first 15 minutes. It
I
doesn't
wasn't
really
either.
it doesn't
thought it
really
was-
get going until you get like half an hour in.
I thought it was pretty interesting, kind of like jumping around the little ship and having to like pick up stuff and whatever. But I don't know. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, it was actually a bit of a rough start for me because I couldn't. It doesn't really have a tutorial. It doesn't really tell you anything, so I wasn't really sure like what to do or how to exactly make stuff work. But you kind of figure it out as you go along. Yeah, pretty much what the basis of this game is you're this little character who can pick stuff up, move stuff around, and you got this like steam machine,
Locomotive.
a locomotive that you basically feed fuel in, you manage its systems in this kind of faster than light kind of thing, and you go to the right, and that is your objective.
Unlike NASCAR, who goes to the left.
Hmm. Yes.
Oh, can I ask how many hours did you guys put into this? Because I just want to, like, someone said 2 hours and someone else said like 4 hours. Because I put 7 hours into this game.
7 hours?
I just want to know, did anyone else like? Zach, you play it more because
I think Zach had 2. He said.
Yeah, I said 2.
Oh.
Did you replay it?
I think so.
Oh.
It was a while ago. I'm pretty sure I just really took my time and I explored everywhere.
Yeah, it took me 4 hours, and I thought I was taking a while. So I'm really surprised you did 7 hours.
I thought I was taking a while. Because there's not really a whole lot to explore.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe I did reset one of the earlier parts. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's been just a little too long.
It has been a little while, but
What do we want to talk about first?
We should probably
Gameplay, mechanics, art.
I kind of want, I think, art.
Get the good stuff out of the way first.
Yeah. Because I have some beef with gameplay.
If we're gonna talk about art first, I'm just watching through like a let's play quick, just like scrolling through, looking at it, and like I love this game's art. Like it looks really gorgeous, and like the backgrounds and like the set pieces. Like I'm looking at one part right now where you see the windmills and you can like see the sun rising in the background, and it's so cool. And like just the art in general is so nice. It's just super painterly and very unique.
I think some of the up close stuff, some of the up close environments, like
They get
start to look a little bit boring, but the backgrounds and the sky and just the entire kind of aesthetic of it just looks really good. Like I love the splash art of this, where it's got like the kind of shot of the vehicle and the character, and far lone sails where the under part of the A is the vehicle. I just love that whole aesthetic.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I really liked the beginning, how it's literally all gray except for your character. I mean, that's not an original thing, but still, it really shows the whole bleakness of like the world. And then as you get further, it gets a bit more colorful, but still has that very...
It's very muted. The whole game's mostly gray with some reds, and that's about it. It's just gray and red.
Then blue on your vehicle.
Yeah. I really like the colors and the fact that they stick with gray. And I think the world that they build, like it does a very good job of doing visual storytelling and like having it seem very empty and abandoned and like everything's kind of falling apart. It makes you really think about what happened to this world, because you're like driving across the land and there are giant fucking ships everywhere.
Yeah, and you're going through like towns and industrial complexes, and they're all just ruined.
Yeah. The environment and the story was definitely a very interesting element of the game to me. Probably keep some of the story stuff for the end, just so we can put in spoilers. You probably don't want to watch any of this video if you're concerned about spoilers, because it's a 2-hour game, so we're
Yeah, just play it. Don't listen to
be
us.
yeah. Play the game and listen to this video in 2 hours.
I feel like this should have been in the beginning.
Yeah, we probably should have said that right from the
Wait,
start.
I can edit something
Just
in.
discuss the art. Alright.
Yeah. We haven't spoiled anything. I
The
mean,
art's good, the world's good. Play the game.
your dad died, but you literally learn that in the first 5 seconds of the game, so it doesn't matter.
I picked up everything off of the grave and just ran away.
Yeah.
I made a couple trips. I was like, I'm gonna take all of it. Everything.
When you go to the house, like, I just took everything that was pick upable, because I'm like, do I need this?
I definitely went full hoarder on this game.
Yeah, I even took chairs and shit.
Did
You
you?
could burn everything, so
Who got the achievement for getting like the little red box thing to the end?
I did not get that. I don't
Oh,
think-
like the little trunk from the beginning of the game?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a trunk or a mailbox or something, but if you get it to the end of the game, you get an achievement.
I got it.
I got it. A piece of home. Reached the end with the mailbox. I just hooked down one of the hooks and just kept it there.
Yeah, same.
Although I misunderstood it because I was like, oh, I have to bring it to the very end, and I was like, oh, this seems like it makes sense. I was like, this should be exactly what it is, right? I took the mailbox, and we're in the spoilers now, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
I put it in the fire thing at the very end because I was like, it's like, it's like a funeral pyre or something. And I was like, this makes sense. And it was like, oh no. I was like, last checkpoint, please.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Because I didn't get it then. Because you have to be holding it when the screen goes black.
Yeah, gameplay. Want to discuss that?
Yeah, I
was.
think the gameplay is interesting because it's not really much other than you jump and you can hold things in your hand. That's the basics. But I really like that. That's it. Like, and then everything's just built from that. And I really love pushing those buttons in your vehicle. I don't know why. It's just a nice thing.
Yeah, everything. It felt like stuff had good weight to it.
Yeah, and there's some nice click like sound cues that sound pretty good.
Yep.
Um,
It felt really good to like get going really fast in the Steam engine, and you're just like booking it. And,
Did
like,
you guys notice the physics problems? Like when you get too many items and then you like ram the ship into something?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd have like I reset something because I had the mailbox like go flying into orbit. It like clipped through the side of the ship and just launched, and I was like, "Oh fuck!"
I don't think I've had that happen, but no.
Pretty sneaky.
So for the audience to know, like, the main things in your ship are pretty much your speed, which you click to actually move forward, and then as it's moving, it builds up steam, and then there's a button to hit for the steam to depressurize it and to make yourself go faster. And then there's also a fuel gauge that you have to hit by putting a fuel down and levitates up, or I mean, elevators up. You get more fuel that way. Then there's also like an elevator in your fucking vehicle for going up and down. And also a sail. There's just a bunch of shit in the thing.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
you-
hose to put out fire. There's some
Most of those,
hooks.
most of those, you get throughout the game. You upgrade your ship as you go along. Yeah, the sails is the first thing you get. You get a way to repair your ship. You get a vacuum to like pick stuff up off the ground. And you upgrade your wheels much later on.
I
you guys-
really liked that because you're building your ship as you're
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
as you're going through, and
It
just
felt
seeing
like this thing is
upgrades.
your home, and you're building it like bigger and better, and that just felt
Yeah.
cool.
yeah for the
like it a
journey.
lot. It definitely has a in my mind I kind of felt like an FTL like vibe where you're like in this ship and you're kind of trying to manage it across a trip, but
Yeah.
different though
But a
because
lot more lonely.
yeah.
It's literally just you. There aren't even any enemies to like.
No, there's literally no one. You're the only
Like,
person in the
The
entire game.
environment is like the enemy for the most part.
I want to just back up real quick to all the buttons and stuff. I felt like that was too much, or that they could have tweaked them to last longer, maybe longer fuel, longer build up on the steam. Because like my favorite thing, once you like start get going and you start building them speed, I loved to go up the elevator and then sit on top of the ship. Because
Yeah.
then it pans out the camera and you get to see the whole background and you're just hauling ass throughout the place. But as soon as you go up there, you have to literally go back down a second later to reset the steam. So it literally felt like all my eyes were occupied on just the red buttons and gauges watching them. I couldn't really appreciate the art behind the whole scene.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that this game struggled with the combination of it's a really beautiful art experience, not even just art, but like it's this experience, this adventure of you traveling through this environment. Also, then with the game mechanics of you have to manage a ship and keep it going, and I feel like the two different things, they felt like they were butting heads at times.
Those parts of it almost made it a rhythm game where it's like, okay, you have 4 seconds for you to run over, hit the steam button, pick something up, run over to the furnace, put it in, run back, engage the engine, and then let out more steam. And it's just like, and then you're like, oh shit, there's a thing I just passed. I better run over and hit the brake.
Yep.
It's like, oh.
And then once also you like get the vacuum, like I think that takes energy. I could not really tell.
I just left
it
it on
does.
the whole time.
Yeah, I left it on all the
It
time.
takes energy like really slowly.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I like rarely ever used it, except for when I finally like saw something when I'm up on top and I see something in the distance and then try to rush to go get it.
That's funny because it's the exact opposite of me and Marcus. I literally, as soon as I got that thing, I never turned it off. I left it on the entire time.
I was like,
Yeah,
I
I
never
just-
have to stop for supplies. This is amazing.
I just thought it took more energy, and I'm like, I'm already managing. It's already too much. I want to look at the scenery more.
Yeah, I was super conservative with like what I used, and by the end of the game, I had so much just shit all over my ship, and like it was so much that was difficult for me to get out of the ship.
I definitely feel like that's where this game had this disconnect from like your experience through the game versus you trying to manage your stuff. Like I wanted two different things out of it. I wanted it to be similar to like Limbo and Inside, where it's just this adventure with light puzzles, but then I also really wanted to manage my ship like forever and like make it roguelike and like see how far I could go. And I think it didn't do either to the 100% degree that I wanted.
I think it did both to a certain degree. I did kind of wish that it was like longer and more of a like journey, because it felt like at pretty regular intervals that you would stop because you have to like get out and do something to open the way up or upgrade your ship or something. I kind of wish there were more just like big stretches of nothing that you could just like look at. Like one of my favorite parts was like actually just going through the like putting your ship on the boat and just kind of going for a little while.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I would agree.
That's why I wish the mechanics were just a tad longer. And then they stretch it out.
It would pad out the game time, how long it would take, and it would also just have a little bit more of like atmosphere. And yeah, I probably would have liked that, but I still liked the game for what it was. Some of the puzzles I just like Inside and Limbo I just didn't get, and I'd be like, wait, did I forget something? And then I'd run like to the way far back, and then I'm like, nope, there's nothing over here. And then I'd run all the way back, and I'm like, oh shit, I missed that one thing. Like you got to climb up on your sails and jump to this ledge and climb into this place. But yeah, I think in general it was a fun game.
Yeah, can we talk about those puzzles when you have to stop your ship to open up the way?
Yeah, what do you think about them?
Some were okay, barely, and then some were just like really like this.
Really so super tedious.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, what's the whole reason this is here is just to make me stop the vehicle for a few minutes to open this dumb path that's like I just have to walk a little bit. Like one of the main things I hated was like those furnaces that you have to like put stuff in to like make the shit run.
Mm-hmm.
Like they literally put the thing right next to the furnace, and it's like really there's no challenge there. Like I didn't have to take any from my ship or anything. It's just
would've been kinda
right
cool
there
to do
ready.
that.
Yeah. It's just right there and ready. It's just me getting from point A to point B and then back to point A. And then
Yeah,
continue my journey.
some of those like they did like make you like some of the ones where you stop your ship and you upgrade your ship. It made you like go through the. It basically makes you use the item before you add it onto your ship. It's like basically a little tutorial thing, which I actually kind of enjoy. I like when games do that. They don't like force you into a tutorial where it's like, okay, now press this button. You actually have to like go through, and it's like, yeah, these things use power. These things do this, and now it's strapped onto your ship. Have fun.
Yeah, but even then, at the very end, like, still, there's just a goddamn furnace there with a drum barrel right there. And it's just like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it's still demonstrating that it's like these things take power, and there were a few. Like I remember one puzzle in specifically that you have to like get a barrel and put it on a minecart and like use it to get up a ledge. That you actually have to get that to the furnace, but
Yeah.
in general, it's you maybe they could have like worked on those puzzles a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely think there's some puzzles that were better than others. In general, I just think there should have been more focus on you driving your vehicle. Longer stretches that, like we talked about before, of you just doing your vehicle. I think the time I liked the most, honestly, was when I could just stand on top of my vehicle and use my sails.
Yeah, same. And I wish they used the sails more. It was like 2 parts, I think.
You could
that
use
they were
it, or they were required.
Yeah, like when the winds were actually happening. Otherwise, like, even if you had your sails up, it wasn't actually helping. I always had it up just for aesthetic purposes.
I don't know about you guys. There was a part after I got the sails where, like, I know there's a thing where whatever happens in the sails damaged or something, but I broke it earlier than that because I was like, I ran into something a couple times without really paying attention, and it was destroyed. And then I was like, fuck, because that was before they give you the repair tool.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I'm just out of sail. Like, oh fuck, oh no. And then I was like, I almost ran out of fuel at that part because it was like right after I got it. So there's long stretches of where it's like you're clearly supposed to use the sail,
Yeah.
and I didn't have one. And yeah, that made me so like, that was the most tense part of the game for me. And it was like, oh, it wouldn't have been tense if I hadn't just been stupid with the sail.
I wish there was more of that. I wanted there to be some amount of fuel management, because at first I really started managing how much fuel I had, and after a while, I didn't keep collecting like you guys did. Because after a while, I started realizing like, oh, there's like not really any incentive to keep collecting because there's a ton of stuff.
I thought they were eventually gonna
Just
like,
stop. Yeah.
slow way down as I get more towards the end, and it's gonna be like, did you actually manage your resources and collect everything? But then it's like, nope, you continuously get it.
Yeah, I think this game is really fun, and I really like, or not, I shouldn't say fun, but a really great experience. But it just feels like it's missing things, or didn't go far enough.
Yeah, it has potential to be really great, but I was gonna say that one part I got really frustrated because I got stuck. Because after my first ramming head onto an object experience, like, and shit caught on fire, I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to do that again. And then I came up to a wall, and I can't remember if this is right where you upgrade the wheels or something, but there's like a bump right before this elevator platform and then a wall. Actually, I don't think it's the wheels part. It's some other part. But I saw the wall, and then I just hit the brakes immediately. But my big wheels went over the bump, but not my last part. So then I was stuck there. I like tried pulling back my vehicle as much as I could. Couldn't get over that bump. And then tried full steaming ahead, and the back wheel could not get over it and everything. And it's just like, well, they keep on teaching me not to ram into stuff because otherwise there's consequences. But now look when I braked, and now I can't fucking do anything.
Oh my god.
So I had to restart a checkpoint. Yeah.
What would? Well, I feel like my favorite parts of this game were the I really liked when you get to go in the really big walker. I just thought that was cool. Like, you don't do it very much, and it's kind of just a puzzle side thing. But I really liked when it was moving. And
I
like,
wish that lasted longer.
I know, like the
I
music
was
got all
thinking it would be the end
cool.
of the game. I was like, oh, you're going to use all the rest of your fuel using this walker.
That's what I thought too. I thought I was at the end of the game there.
Yeah, and I was like, that'd be awesome. It'd be like, if you collected everything, it can make it all the way to the very, very end. And it'd be like, yeah. And it was like, oh no.
The most annoying thing for me about that was like when you get one of the fuel sources and then do it, it literally lasts for like 15 seconds.
Oh,
and
I know,
then
it
you
didn't
have
last
to
that
like
at
go
all.
find the other, do that, and then barely lasts again. I'm like, what? This whole epic moment, and it lasts just for a blink of an eye.
Oh. And then right after that is the volcano, and I really liked that part. Did you guys? Any of you guys die to the volcano?
No, I
I died like 3 times because I was only using the sails, and I was like, well, what the fuck is this? There's just wind. And actually,
yeah,
the time
I
I
died
made
the
it,
first time.
the time I made it, everything like was on fire. like everything burst into fire, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna die!" And I grabbed the hose, and I just started like twitching back and forth, and it put everything out. And I was like, "I'm gonna live."
yeah, I was going really fast at that part, so
Yeah,
Drew.
that was a cool part.
My favorite part was when you go onto like that watery surface.
Oh yeah, and you're on like the barge thing, and you got your sails up.
Yeah. And you can literally just take your time and just watch the whole scenery as the camera like pans out. I'm just like, holy shit, this looks great.
Yeah.
And that's what I was expecting the game to be a lot about, but
I really want them to like just do more with this concept and either go. I want them to make 2 games. I want them to go one way where I just get to experience a cool thing and I turn on the sail every once in a while. Like I do a little bit of management and we just go through this cool world. And then I want the opposite where I want more focus on the game mechanics and I want it to be roguelike. And I like how far can you go? I want them to do both of those things because this game is like right in the middle and I'm not happy enough with either.
But so are we about through with the game mechanics and the art?
I think so.
It seems like it. I really don't have much more to say about the game.
Yeah, we can bring it up more, but you brought up the walker, so that kind of makes me want to talk more about the story and the ending.
Yeah.
And we can do that now if we're all cool with that.
Yeah, the whole story. I'm good.
Carly, are you all right hearing the ending? I mean, you saw
Watch the ending.
Oh my god. No spoilers, please.
All right, fuck you. So I'm kind of mixed on the ending. Like on one side, I get it, and on the second side, I'm like, fuck you.
I'm disappointed in the whole story overall.
Yeah,
Because they literally gave you nothing.
I
think
feel like
it would have been a better ending
implied
to
story.
just. Oh, sorry.
I feel like the story was kind of implied with like the whole thing with the grave and the giant walker and stuff like that. It was kind of setting up this whole world.
Well, that was one aspect,
And-
but they didn't.
Yeah, they weren't like
anything
your
about-
character never talks or anything, so they're not going to like be super direct. Like this is what happened, but I liked that kind of implied storytelling.
Yeah, the world building and like narrative or environmental storytelling was really strong, but the like overarching story of your character is not great.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I do kind of like the ending because so basically end of the game spoilers right here. Yeah, so you get away from the volcano and then you're like, yeah, I got away from the volcano, and you go off this pretty small jump and your steamer just breaks in half, like eats hard shit. And I liked that a lot because it's like, oh my god, this is like basically my house. I've upgraded the shit out of this. I've been in it for like the past 2 hours through this game, and it just got busted.
I feel like it should have broken down before the walker, and then it should have ended on the big walker. Because then it would have been like it would have ended on this was the invention of the guy who died. That's and all the stuff in the background. That's what that is. It's like that's his legacy. But
I understand that, but I don't feel like it would give the ending that they wanted to. Like,
but the ending they had was kind of like weak.
Like I think it's weak in some aspects, but I think it also is further in like world building and storytelling. They'd be like, hey, look, when you get to the end, I'm watching the end right now while I'm talking, but there's all these other locomotives just like yours strewn all across the beach, all broken, because everyone else is apparently trying to do the same thing you were. and then you light your giant signal fire because you're like looking for help. You're trying to get out of this, like just like everywhere, everything's been wrecked
I
behind
didn't take
you.
it as that.
And then you hear a horn of a boat coming.
Yeah, but the whole problem with that is they never answered like what happened and why.
That's true. They don't answer
And
that.
that was my biggest gripe. Was like, as I'm watching the whole world, I'm just like, wow, what's happened here? Why is there no one around? And then at the very end, like, oh, there's all these people on the boat, but fucking why?
I think it kind of like lets you kind of come to your own conclusions about it. My conclusion was that the giant like walker with legs and your walker are like very, very different. Like one has legs and the other has wheels, and it was like this two like competing ideologies of like what's the better sort of vehicle, and that kind of just led to some kind of arms race or something.
Didn't that guy who made the walker make a fucking thing?
Was he? Was it the same
I'm
person?
pretty sure, yeah.
It seemed
There were
kind of like
pictures.
it.
There's pictures, I think, showing
Yeah,
that
there was
everyone-
like a pictures that told a story when you were in the walker.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. I think there was. I don't remember that quite super well.
Try Google.
I'm going to that part right now in the video I'm watching. Let's see if I can.
But yeah, I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah, it shows. Okay, so in the pictures, the first picture in the series shows the original locomotive that you're in, and then it like, there's some more pictures of him, of like the same guy, kind of modifying it so it has legs and wheels, and then like him trying to make these bigger ships, and then you can see pictures of him with the giant ones. And I think, I don't know. When I went through it, in my mind, I read it as that this could be your father. If your father's the guy who did all this stuff.
I think it's either father or grandfather. Because if
Yeah,
it's
something like
father,
that.
it seems like a lot has happened in a very short time. If it's your grandfather, then it seems more like a longer course of period of shit.
Yeah, it would make a lot more sense for, I guess, if it was your grandfather.
Yeah, and then your father was the one who died in the beginning.
Giving you a reason to leave, yeah.
Come on, just Google. Like, what's the story? Does anyone know the story?
I suppose that the giant walker makes more sense if they don't have boats. I mean, if you think about that, if it's the walker is not meant for land walking, it's meant for crossing an ocean. If that was the intent.
I think that's what the intent was. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah,
I
mean, it
took
was,
the whole thing as a pilgrimage because of your dead father, grandfather, whatever. And it was like that's the whole point, because you're honoring him because it was the type of ship he designed, that you're bringing it there and you're letting the signal fire thing. And I was like, I just took it as that. I was like, that would make sense why you have the piece of home thing, because it's like, oh, it was his home. I don't know. I had that just as that. I don't know why. It was like, okay, but
yeah.
Just Google story. There's nothing out there, so you'll never know.
But yeah, I think I liked the ending of the game, even though it seemed a little bit anticlimactic and didn't have a lot of answers. But that was kind of how the entire game went. So I think it was overall an enjoyable experience. Might play it again.
I definitely feel like I'll play it again at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone watched the show Ergo Proxy?
Nope.
I've not.
Anyone?
no.
Damn. All right.
Sorry.
It's an anime, but like there's like the game reminds me a lot about it. At like this certain part, like the protagonist pretty much like travels across this sort of desert, desolate landscape, pretty much in like a sailing type boat, and just really has the same sort of atmosphere of like loneliness and everything. I was hoping someone here else watched it, but
Sorry to disappoint.
There were a lot of weebs at ID Tech, but I didn't watch it. I did watch Your Name Again, and I cried. That's it.
nerd.
Yeah. I'm a sappy bitch when it comes to stuff like that. I didn't actually cry. Eyes got a little bit watery, but
Yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend this game to people. Maybe if it's on sale.
I think if you like games like Limbo and Inside, and kind of liked the sort of management aspect of like some other games, like Faster Than Light or something. I think you'd like this game. I think most people who like those sort of short single-player experiences, I think you'd like this game.
Yeah, I would recommend this game with this saying that if you like experiential games like Limbo and Inside, or other games like that, then yes, definitely pick it up. But if you don't like those games, don't get this game.
Yeah,
Because-
if you only play like multiplayer, like Twitch shooters or like really action-heavy games or stuff like that, like where you always need to be doing something, I probably wouldn't recommend getting this game. Like, watch. I'll probably have a little bit of footage of this game in when we actually put the video up, and if it doesn't look like your kind of game, definitely don't pick it up.
Yeah.
But other than that, does anybody have anything else to say?
I've got nothing more.
No, game is beautiful. That's about it. It's really good looking.
Mm-hmm. Okay, bye.